Welcome to our PD focusing on dealing with cyberbullying in school. We hope that this video and attached handout will enable you to have more of an understanding around this prevalent issue. We have included in this session interviews conducted with people from different generations, teenagers, recent school leavers within the past 10 years, and parents. All of these interviews have been conducted with full ethical consideration. All participants are over the age of 18 and have given their permission in this regard. Throughout this presentation, you will hear from each of these interviewees who will share with you their opinion on a number of associated issues. The development of online technology to enhance learning within secondary schools has contributed to new pathways to emerge, allowing students to partake in a modern form of bullying known as cyberbullying. According to the Department of Education and Early Childhood Development's bullying policy, Bully Stoppers, cyberbullying is defined as bullying using digital technologies, including mobile phones, email, and social media tools. Social media networks are a vital part of young people's lives, and this is demonstrated through the approximate 1.8 million teenagers using Facebook throughout Australia. This high amount of activity, combined with constant accessibility through mobile devices, highlights the impact online activity has in secondary school students' lives. Cyberbullying is considered to be a large-scale issue as it can involve overt embarrassment, lack of privacy, and anonymous harassment that can be constantly revisited or shared throughout the online world. The occurrence of cyberbullying in a secondary student's life can cause serious distress and long-term ramifications for their health and well-being. As reiterated by the Kids Helpline, long periods of feeling scared, powerless, helpless, ashamed, and other emotions as a result of victimisation by cyberbullies can have long-lasting effects on children, resulting in poorer functioning in social and occupational roles and a greater likelihood of repeatedly thinking about suicide right up into adulthood. The impact of cyberbullying on youth's health and well-being is an extremely important issue that needs to be acknowledged within all secondary schools and the wider community. It is an issue that is difficult to manage and monitor due to the extensive accessibility of online activity through mobile devices. Despite the difficulties of detecting and managing cyberbullying, the issue must be brought to the attention of the school, as 1 in 5 Australian teenagers aged 12 to 17 years receive hateful messages via their mobile phone or through an internet-based medium during the current school year. This concerning statistic could be higher and therefore more damaging for young people's health and well-being, as highlighted by Sticker and Perrin. Victims often do not report cyberbullying experiences to an adult, at school, or their parents, mainly because they think adults lack the specific knowledge to help them. If a secondary school student was to report an incident of cyberbullying, there are blurred lines in relation to a school's duty of care. There are also issues of who can be held responsible and how online harassment can be investigated and managed. As explained by Goff, the student codes of conduct developed by state schools in Victoria have attempted to cover cyberbullying, but given the elusive nature of this type of bullying, it may be extremely difficult for any school to effectively enforce any type of sanction. This suggests that there are many cyberbullying victims suffering in silence within the Australian secondary school community. This is detrimental to student well-being and is damaging students' health and engagement, not only throughout their schooling, but also throughout their adult life. Let's now check in with our interviewees and see if they agree with this definition. We asked each of our participants what cyberbullying meant to them, what they thought the differences were if any, and which one they considered to be worse, cyberbullying or regular bullying.
Form of bullying that happens using any kind of information technology.
Digital media or social media.
Where everyone just getting on the same kind of, like if it's on Facebook, like same kind of post and just kind of downgrading them or making them feel pretty bad.
Like, it's like normal, it's like physical bullying, except it really targets the mental aspect and, the person who's doing it, it's easier for them because they don't have to be there.
I assume that it's where someone is bullied by way of the social media.
A weak way of bullying someone without being face to face.
Bullying in itself is often done face to face, whereas with cyberbullying there are lots of different ways you can manipulate information.
I think cyberbullying is a lot more cowardly.
If there's face-to-face physical hurting someone, then you've got that sort of could be talking on the phone about someone else and bullying them in that way.
I don't think there is one that's worse.
I would say they're just as bad as each other.
You don't, because bullying is always terrible. But I think, like, in person, obviously bad, but over this, it's like there's nowhere it's safe because we're all constantly connected via phones and computers and stuff to the internet, and so you no longer, like, if it's happening at school or the workplace, at the very least you go to other places. But cyberbullying just all everywhere.
I think cyberbullying is worse.
Yeah, because, firstly the person doing it doesn't have to deal with the physical consequences, and that probably makes them more likely to do it.
However, I think cyberbullying, the impact of it could be much worse because of the audience. It's not just face to face.
I wouldn't think cyberbullying is as hard as being physically bullied.
The best, most effective approach when dealing with issues of concern such as cyberbullying functions around a whole school-based approach. Consistency across curriculum, teacher expectations and student behaviours is paramount. This can be informed by policy but must be implemented by all school staff, including support staff. In 1998, the Victorian Government implemented a framework for student support services. This framework aims to create a continuity between schools across the state when dealing with student welfare. The main aim of this framework is to create a resilient student. The framework can be used as another level of PD and support for staff, creating a collaborative learning space and providing consistency across understanding. There are 4 levels of activity as shown in the graphic: primary prevention, early intervention, intervention and postvention. As shown in the graphic, the size of the circles are representative of their level within the framework, with student resilience being the core value associated with all aspects. Although each of these aspects are necessary and important, part of the best practice approach lies in having a focus on primary prevention. Tackling an issue before it escalates into an incident requires postvention. In the case of cyberbullying, an example may be as follows. Postvention, education for all students and parents around cyber safety. Early intervention, blocking social media sites online at school. Intervention, gaining external help for a student at risk. And postvention, counsellors are brought into the school after the death of a student from ongoing cyber harassment. In this example, the whole school approach is dedicated to primary prevention and early intervention, trying to educate all students and the community around how to be safe online. Also putting in place some intervention by blocking access to social media sites that are commonly a place where cyberbullying occurs. The framework, as expressed in the graphic, whilst looking at a whole school approach, uses many different strategies to create resilience. By implementing the strategies offered through this framework and creating policy surrounding issues, schools are in a much better position to face issues such as cyberbullying head on.